Yep, there it is. It just popped
Yeah.
up.
I just refreshed it.
There we go. Desperate Allies GT. Up on BCP.
Sure. Where's Conway, Arkansas? Okay, so I don't have to worry about any way, shape, or form.
Beautiful Conway, featuring, I'm sure, an establishment of some kind.
A city hall.
I imagine there's at least a stoplight at some point.
I'm sure there's a Civil War battlefield somewhere around there. Maybe, probably. Oh.
All right.
Hey, Bam here from the Flying Monkeys Wargaming Podcast, where if wargaming is easy, it would be your mom. I'm here with Mr. Iron Halo, Jason Horn.
What
and,
up, guys?
The guys
this is on
from
4 hours of sleep. I'm delirious.
God.
This game, we have the guys from TFG Radio, Mr. Adam and Danny. You guys want to give a brief intro?
Go ahead, old man.
Shots fired.
Hey, everybody. Adam. For those that don't know, my name's Adam. I'm one of the LVO judges and TFG radio hosts.
And the oldest guy on the stream.
And I technically am the oldest guy on the stream.
By leaps and bounds, too.
It depends on that depends on your location on that chart.
Well, we're definitely among friends. Okay, so officially, round 2 has not ended yet. So we're actually going to be pulling up BCP just to talk to a few things. Cool. BCP is up. All right. So we'll take a look at the placings right now. I think it should be able to pull it up. Nope, it didn't do that.
It's doing the thinking wheel of death.
It is. So there you go. BCP right here. So we can.
All right.
These are the round 2 pairings. Obviously, we saw Heath and Joe fight with Heath and his Necrons pulling out the W on what is it, Guilliman?
Yep.
Bobby G.
Bobby G, a couple of Redemptors, couple of Repulsors. Repulsors got killed off the board turn 1. Apparently the Necrons can dish out some mortals if they get the jump on you.
You know, Necrons, it's easy to sleep on them, especially because, I think as we said before, the pregame, that a lot of people just expect destroyer spam, but they do have other entries in their codex besides destroyers.
They do.
I
And
wouldn't know,
with
'cause
Tesla weapons and 6s making a lot of shots, you can those hits add up pretty quick.
Apparently, he was rolling 5s and 6s.
Yes, because if you give pluses to hit, that instead of just being 6s being multiple hits, the 5s become multiple hits. It stacks.
Math. It's hard.
You don't need
You
it.
joke about that, but we've all seen it.
Yeah, God.
Okay, so pending a potential matchup, we're thinking about putting Justin Lewis on this next round. If he plays Bruce Meeker or anybody else on the stream, that's been on the stream before, we'll probably get a different set matchup. But I just want to go over Justin's list with both everyone here. So I just pulled it up. You guys should be able to see it.
Yeah, I see. We got a Bulgrin star with 2 slab shields, 3 brute shields.
Yeah, the interesting thing about his list is there's an AdMech attack, some Dragoons. A lot of the typical guard/knight list does not have that in.
Yeah, no, Justin, this is he made it to the semifinals at LVO with a Castellan Admech list that was
Yeah.
pretty that was I think caught a lot of people off guard, especially how fast it can be.
And the Electro Priest are nothing to sneeze at.
Oh no, if they actually get there and get to do what they want to do, they're brutal.
Yeah, the thing with the Electro Priest, because they get the 3+ invulnerable if they kill a unit. So you want to keep. You usually want to keep, because I've played against those a lot with my knights, but you usually want to keep the easy stuff to kill away from them, otherwise they power up really easy.
Yes, that's the thing. If you can't, unlike a lot of other melee threats, you can't feed them to kind of slow them down, because doing so just ensures that they become a huge pain in the ass to
You
get rid
give
of.
them a sacrificial unit, next thing you know, you can't get them off the freaking board.
Yeah.
Yep, that's very much you have to kill them before they do anything, which means you have to usually let the dragoons or the Bulgrin do their thing, which is also painful. So up a nice kind of choice, a really bad Sophie's choice for the opponent of how do I mitigate these kind of high threat units, right, when I know I can't feed one of them.
Steve Hetmeyer, get out of the chat with that Kroot bullshit.
Kroot aren't real.
What the fuck's a
exist
Kroot?
anymore?
I do hope they bring Kroot back at one point. I want them to bring back all the old random shit. I mean, we got Genestealer Cult. Why can't we get Kroot?
Oh.
You can get recruit mercenaries.
Yeah, man.
Hey, we got one in Blackstone Fortress.
Exactly. They're thinking about it. They've had the idea. They
All right.
bothered to build a CAD.
So that was page 1. Here's page 2. I guess you guys already saw his list at LVO in action, right?
Yeah, I don't think he had. I can't remember if he had as many. He didn't have the Bulgrin. No, he did have the Bulgrin.
Yeah, the Bulgrin. Yeah, I think this is his.
It's his
LVO
LVO.
list.
When I talk to him, he trades the Bulgrin in and out, depending on what he thinks the meta is going to be where he's at. So I think he brought less slap shields for this.
We got a request for a Space Wolves list, apparently.
Oh, so he wants to see losers on that stream.
Hetmeyer can
Come on.
suck it
30
in.
Terminators, bro.
Yeah,
30,
that ain't happening.
30 Terminators.
So I just want to let everybody know here that's watching in Twitch land that Brian is super salty about Space Wolves not being very good, contrary to all the information he heard on the interwebs.
Yeah, it's I'm at peace with it. They just suck.
What,
So
the
you're
internet
saying-
couldn't lie to you.
Yeah,
Dude.
It
never
has to be good.
You know how many people talked about that book and how good it was going to be? And it's like
Oh, I know.
the day after I buy it, I'm printing a PDF off the internet to fix it.
Yeah.
It's still hot garbage.
Yeah, well, power armor armies are at the moment.
Yeah, we've been lied to about that too. I remember Chapter Approved, that was a rumor. Oh, if you play Power Armor, you're going to be really happy. No, I'm not.
And people are like getting real pumped about, oh my god, the Bolter rule, so good. I'm like,
Yeah, you
It's
need to go back and
really
reread that,
double
homie. It's not as good as you think.
well, no, it's just it's like cool. You double your amount of shooting. It's still strength 4. Right. Good. Cool.
Listen. I put 5 wounds on a knight with bolters using Veterans of the Long War, though.
Yeah. Okay, that doesn't count.
Stop.
What do you mean it doesn't count? It counts.
Just stop, Adam.
What I'm telling you is fact. So in my worldview, it's actually great.
Was this pre-Bolter drill rule?
No, this is after. I only tried it after. Before that,
Oh, okay.
Terminators were shit.
I don't know, man. I'm just saying, it's like, if you got a bucket of ice cream and a bucket of shit, and you're taking, no matter how many scoops of ice cream you put into that bucket of shit, it's still a bucket of shit, like.
But if that's all you have, you gotta take what you can get. I gotta lie.
Yep. I mean, I'm so happy Orcs became good. I really am.
Hey, orcs haven't had their day in the sun for a while. I mean, it's been a long time since, what is it, the Knob Death Star.
No, hold on a second. We gotta remember that Reese created the, second Orc Death Star with all of his bikes. So,
In 7th.
his seventh edition or 6th edition. Everybody said Reese's.
Everything was a Death Star.
Yeah, it was a Death Star. So Reese, if you're listening, there was a Death Star.
Of course, it's a Death Star. Reese, I think, is at a local SoCal GT.
Do you think
Probably
he's winning?
playing a weird. Probably I don't know.
I don't know.
It's early, maybe. If you got a baby seal.
Damn,
No,
Smokey.
no. What's funny is Southern California has a lot. Well, it's where Brandon Grant hangs out, so that tells you what level we're at.
So we'll just take a look at the
Stop.
venue right now. It's pretty cool.
See, did you catch that? Remember I told you earlier that Californians are like vegans and CrossFitters? You're going to hear
Very
about
true.
it pretty quick in a conversation.
Pretty true.
That's not a lie.
Like Andy from VGR podcast came out here talking about how he was going to dominate Meta because he's from Kansas City, getting his butt trounced.
Okay, Andy. I mean, I love Andy, but he's an average player. Not gonna lie.
That's not a fight. We have an excited player.
What
It's
can we-
not
we
a
can
fight.
say? Right there. He's an excited player. Oh,
Excited player.
I'm gonna say that's inappropriate touching for what I just saw.
Oh.
and we got it on camera.
Well,
Yellow
there goes that
card right
guy's
there.
political career.
Depends on what party, but yes.
So as you can see, the venue is pretty cool. We have plenty of space. There's I think 60 some odd players.
Not
Couple
bad, not bad.
no-shows.
Yeah,
So
it's a decent. No, it's a pretty good amount of space. It's not a balls to butt like at other places where they really cram them in there.
that is true. Like Flying Monkey.
Shut the hell up. We have a nice banquet hall. Tons of room.
That's cool.
A hotel. Like, we have the whole hotel.
I know. I'm just impressed with this whole moving camera.
Yeah, so's Jason.
I know. That's why I'm using it so much. I was like, look at it. It's gonna be pretty cool, pretty handy. Instead of actually reading the scores or the wound markers, having to get up, I actually just use the camera. I was like,
Oh, technology.
all right, guys in chat, what do you want to see for this next round? If you're listening, I think it's gonna be fun. So Adam and Danny, what do you guys think of the new ITC secondaries we're proposing?
They're great. Not because I helped. Not because we helped do it.
Really, I was about to say the opposite. Because we helped, they're probably bullshit.
I don't, and this
They're
is
the best
honest,
thing
not being
since sliced
sarcastic.
bread, and because you guys don't use it, you guys suck.
I don't think anybody's going to take engineers.
It depends. If you
It
build
depends,
a,
yeah.
it depends. If you're some armies are really good at that. Like again, people with Nurglings, any kind of unit that's cheap, that is relatively resilient, or has a small
Personal
profile
ones.
to hide.
Yeah.
Like it becomes easy points, especially against someone like Eldar who don't have a ton of indirect fire, right? Like where you're actually on the secondary scoring some points. Like that's, I think engineers is workable. Frank,
Yeah,
get
when
out of here, wherever you are.
When I played at Nova, it wasn't that big of a deal to get the. I got at least 2 or 3 points every game. So
All right, we had
I
a
can
request
see-
of you, one of our local players, Frank Howerton. Frank, you are officially on the stream. Congratulations. See if we
Is
can get
that the
any
only
closer.
time he's going to be on the stream?
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna be on stream. I don't think he's that good. I'm just kidding. Frank, if you're listening after this, I'm just kidding. Don't beat me up.
Please don't hurt me.
I'm thousands
Yes,
of miles
uh,
away, so I'm not kidding. I don't think he's going to be on the stream.
Oh, the Tau of Tau has a good question. Seems like secondaries will be easier to cap 12 points. How do you might impact denial list? Well, I think good denial lists already deny the primary points. Like if you're building a denial list, you need to be able to stop people from kill something a turn, kill more a turn, right? Like that's really where you can probably rack up the most point denial. So that's why you see lists like people who, like one of our local players, Jeff, uses Altiok Wave Serpents because, up to -2 to hit at range or -3, it makes it really hard to kill something until he decides to commit. But then he's like, then he's 2 or 3 points up on you already, which can hurt. But I do think it will be a little bit easier to get to 12 points, but I don't think, but mostly against Eldar.
Just a quick reset update because we were asking about him. He got a draw in his first game
Ooh.
against Tau.
That was not
Josh
that bad.
playing Necrons too. You can do Heath again. He's right here. Heath. Heath.
I think if the secondaries are going to become easier to get for the most part, then it might put more emphasis on trying to get the bonuses.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that I think is a big difference in players that tend to get those really, really high scores
Right.
versus those who get like the, high 20s, low 30s is you've got to build your list with the ability to get the bonus in at least 3 of the missions, right? Like, 'cause that's really where you're going to rack up good points and you're going to get separation.
Yeah. But in most games in the previous ones, I wasn't having issues getting. I got at least 8 points usually in my secondaries. So I already knew if I was getting low points in secondaries, I probably wasn't winning anyway. So.
Yeah.
I see people walking around.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna go next round.
Leaving pairings already.
We'll take.
What they should do is make this kind of speed up so that it looks like a 1920s silent film era.
Blink in and out really fast,
Yes.
black and white.
Grainy.
Hey, Adam, Danny, what would you rather see? Orcs against orcs, or Necrons versus Catechins? Custodes versus Yannari. Orcs versus Yannari.
Orcs versus Yannari might be the best one. All the other ones, one is gonna Orcs versus Orcs will take forever,
Right.
unless they're using a clock. And then the other two sound like they're gonna, to me anyway, sound like they'll be over quick, depending on the first turn.
Yeah. Orcs versus Inari, I mean, especially depending on the Inari, if it's the Alex and Harrison flyer list, maybe not as interesting, but if it's more of a classic Inari, like Shining Spears or Warp Spiders, that could be a good game to see, the real, the supposed new king of the meta orcs, which we didn't see materialize, versus the tried and true king of the Inari.
I think a lot of those predictions at LVO were based on the fact that people knew Nick was going to play them.
Yeah, there were more than a few top players who were bringing orcs.
Well, what's funny is that one player, Alex Harrison, beat both Nick and Matt Root.
Right. Which is maybe kind of skews the data because Alex Harrison's kind of a damn good player, and he also purposely brought a list designed to mess with the orc meta.
Alright, Jason is getting players mic'd up.
Go, Jason, move faster.
Yeah, I'm waiting way too long. This was not. I purposely put in my writer to not wait more than 10 seconds for something.
I saw
Man, you
it
must
on my green M&Ms.
So I have to look forward to being that impatient when I get that old. Is that what you're saying?
Well, every second matters when you're that old. You
Oh,
just don't know
really?
how many more you have.
Yeah, you're just closer to death, so
Alright,
you gotta make
so
every moment count.
if you guys look, one of the orc list is up on the screen.
All right,
We got some death skulls coming at you.
boys.
Dreadwog.
Yeah.
Okay. So we got the Big Mech shooting 3 times, possibly. With just a crap ton of boys and Mad Doc hanging out. Okay, so Foot Sloggy.
It's Dreadwall. Do you guys know what that is?
Yeah,
That's
so
from
that's
the Vigilus.
Yes.
Yeah. Really, it's only for the Big Mech, right? Like, it lets the Big Mech fire multiple times with the shock attack gun.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we also have another battalion attachment. Looks like that one was bad news. Starting off with the Weird Boy. We're going to pop over the second page here.
Yeah. I'm sure we're going to see Ludas.
More Weird Boys. So 2 Weird Boys filling out the HQs. Ton of Gretchen. And, hey, Knobs with combi rockets. What do you think about that?
That's interesting.
And then some
A lot
That's
of
not
knobs.
something you're going to see often.
Well, it's 2+ armor, 3 wounds, I think.
I think so.
So, you have a. Are they walking, or does he have anything to put them in?
I don't see any transports.
Yeah,
Wow.
I think, that's...
But we have another detachment to go through, so...
So that's Dread Skulls. Is the next attachment. Looks like our Death Skulls. I can read.
Yeah.
So KFF.
I mean, you could just deep strike the knobs,
Yeah. Which maybe is
Strat.
what he does, since that's,
because that's a lot of 2+ armor to get through.
yeah.
Let's see, next page, see what's on
We
there.
don't want them just walking around.
Man, there's no transports. These dudes are just slogging it.
Yeah, he has to be using the teleporter to get them.
Or the
And
jump.
then, or to jump, yeah. And then just more Jeep boys. Or probably backfield.
Yeah, because it was just 10-man, 10-boy squads.
Unless my eyes lie, does he only have 15 Ludas?
Let's go back and see. I think it was only 15 Ludas.
Oh. Again, there's a bold moves here. Bold moves.
It's a bold move, Cotton. I hope it pays off for you. So, but the knobs with the combi rocket are pretty interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it gives you, that one kind of drop of relatively accurate, big hit, and some volume of fire, since it's the combi. And they're still knobs. They're not. Those aren't thing. Yeah, they're regular knobs. They're not mega knobs. So they're.
Oh, I thought they're mega knobs. Oh, they're just knobs.
No, exactly. They're just normal ass knobs.
I don't know why he has them there. No, it's probably just either teleport them in or they'll jump. Because they hit hard. It's a lot of rockets.
There's a lot of rockets.
And the Shudas, I mean, still put out okay amount of shots in the sense of if you're, going against another horde list or something, where you just want volume of fire rather than the high impact. But yeah, definitely not something I think most people would ever anticipate seeing against them.
Yeah, 15, and it's just the 15 Ludas, right?
Just 15 Ludas, yeah,
That's it.
not the full Luda star.
Okay, well, someone find him 10 more.
All right. So what's the other list?
It's trying to be different.
Sure, everyone wants to be a special snowflake. I get it.
All right. Here's the second list. This should be popping up here shortly. Ynnari. So we have mixed battalion, Ynnari. Got the Cat Lady herself.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Spirit Seer. Eldrad.
Okay.
Rangers.
That's unique.
Yep.
Yeah. Shining Spears.
Double Spear.
Nice. Yeah,
That's 2 units of 10 spears.
that's a lot.
Yeah, double Spears and Dark Reapers.
Yeah. And then have a Craft World Battalion, the Zaltok, Warlock, Skyrunner Farseer, and that's going to be all Dire Avengers to fill out the troops. And there's a Wave Serpent for shit to hide in. So it's not your typical Ynnari list.
No, this one's really outside of the ballpark. I've never seen a list like this before.
Yeah, double spears might be nasty. They do have the ability to deep strike spears, so could see how that goes.
I mean, really, I guess this will come down to who really blinks first. Just because the spears will do some pretty good damage to an orc horde, but they'll get eaten by an orc horde just as well. So Yanari's really going to have to make sure that he hits first. But then orcs, orcs can gas out really easily. Right, once you start killing off the boys or even getting them down, the units down to a manageable size, like they really lose a lot of power. So, and this, the Yanari list has, I mean, everyone knows Dark Reapers are good. So, and even those Rangers can actually start picking off like the KFF if he's not careful about where he places them. Right, snipers are a thing.
They're gonna be a thing even more so now, from what we've seen.
I
know. You get a Vindicare, and you get a Vindicare.
Did you see the leaked stuff in the new box set?
I've seen some leaks, yeah.
There's some pretty nice little scouts in there that come in as a heavy attachment, so they're able to do some character stuff.
Yeah, that's what I've seen it, and it's just like, okay, well, Chaos gets a new sorcerer.
Yeah. I was underwhelmed by the Chaos stuff.
I kind of am too. It's kind of cool that you if you roll any doubles, you pair within 12, but then again, you're within 12, so
right.
I'm still getting
the greater possessed is cool.
That's all I know.
If what I've read is true about the greater possessed, he definitely turns on like he makes cultist a bit better.
He gives every demon unit +1 strength.
Oh, is it only demon? What I saw, because again, that's why I hate leaks, because you never know what's real.
No.
Is that it's legion and demon units, but if it's just demon units,
I'll have to double check. I know demon units gives +1 strength. So if you run a heavy demon, whether it's possessed or demon engines,
right,
they get +1 strength. Now that would be really good for especially demon engines that use strength as their weapon, or their weapon strength. So we'll see. Things like that new Venom Crawler thingy, or the Mauler Fiend, or some of the other stuff they use. Or
if it works for any demons or that share the mark, I could see them working with Slaanesh in terms of making demon nets a lot scarier, because I mean they pump out so many attacks, and what makes them not that scary is that they're only strength 3. But if you get them to strength 4 suddenly, like that, they can start doing work.
What's the strength on the Fiend?
The Fiend, I think, is 5. I want to say 5 off the top of my head.
Okay.
But
of course, I take it if they're only 1 or 2 per choice, they're characters, and GW loves giving us cool characters, and then apparently also giving us tons and tons of
snipers. Yes. Because they give it and they take it away.
Yeah. Okay, so we got I guess the guys who picked their secondaries. So Orcs is taking Big Game Hunter. Makes sense for those Shining Spear squads and the.
No, Big Game Hunter was. Are they using the new?
The new secondaries? I don't know.
Are you
guys using
no, they are not.
The beta? They're not using beta. Okay.
So Big Game Hunter is vehicles. Isn't it vehicles or is it power level?